9.3 is where we're going to work on rotation. So far we've done translations and reflections. So now we're doing the last transformation, which is a rotation. So we're going to focus on the four main types around a unit circle. So we're only going to be doing 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360. So we're only going to be doing increments of 90. So, excuse me, this notation up here sorry. This notation up here, this little r means I'm rotating. This first number will tell me what degrees I'm rotating around. And then the second one will tell me what point I'm rotating around, because that's very important to know what that center point is. So for example, if I was going to rotate this point 2, 3, I want to rotate it 90 degrees around the origin. So here, if I were to draw a straight line back to my origin, it would be here. Whenever we rotate, we always rotate counterclockwise. That's very important for you to remember, because that will trick you up in finding where your answers are. So make sure that you're always writing it down as counterclockwise. Okay? So here, if I rotate 90 degrees, I would go back 90 degrees. Now, instead of us getting out a protractor, we're just going to use these formulas to help us figure out what our coordinates should be. So this says the opposite of y should come first, and then x will come second, and I will just leave it as that number. So over here for 180, this says here is g. I'm going to rotate it around the origin 180 degrees. So when I do that, I'm doing the opposite of x and opposite of y to find those coordinates. Over here on this side, when I am rotating counterclockwise, I'm rotating 270 degrees. So here's g. Rotate counterclockwise 270 degrees. So this says the first number would be the y coordinate, the second number would be the opposite of what x was. And then last 360, if I rotate all the way around 360 degrees, then I should end up right where I started. Okay, let's make some sense of these. So here is my first graph. It has the vertices 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 1, 3, 0. It's asking me to take that polygon and rotate it 90 degrees around the origin. So I come up here to my formula. My formula tells me that I need to do the opposite of y as my first number, and x stays as the second number. So that's my formula I'm going to use for all of these. So I went through and changed all of my coordinates. So for p prime, it would be the opposite of y, so it would be -1 as your first number, and then your x coordinate would be the second number. For q prime, it would be the opposite of y and then x. For r prime, it would be the opposite of y and then x, and then for s prime, it would be the opposite of y, which in this case, since it's 0, I don't have any signs, and then x would be the second number. Then all you have to do is just plot those numbers. So I went ahead and plotted those points, and this was the polygon that I ended up with. Okay, let's have you pause the video and try it on the next one. So on the next one, it's asking you to graph FGHI. So they went ahead and graphed that polygon. So if I'm rotating 270 degrees around the origin, this is my formula I should be using. So y is the first number, the opposite of x is my second number. So I took each coordinates and changed it. So my y would be my first number, the opposite of x would be my second number, so that would be f prime. For g, I did y as my first number, opposite of x for my second number. For h, I did y as my first number, opposite of x for my second number. And then last, I did y for my first number, opposite of my x. In this case, since it's 0, it will stay 0 because 0 is neither positive nor negative. Then I went ahead and just plotted those points and then labeled each one with f prime, g prime, h prime, or I prime. If you still have questions on how to use those formulas to rotate, please let me know.